Welcome back to Behind the Boost. In part 2 of our conversation with Tom Shipley, we dive into his vision for the future and how he's helping entrepreneurs create real exit opportunities. Tom, what are your next goals? What are your next things that you want to achieve?
I'm trying to I always look at the first, second, and third order impacts of the changes that our world is going through. And then looking, who do I want to impact and who do I want to help and how does that go together? Which is really the goal of my next platform. My next platform is, I shared a stat is that 75% of businesses that will go up for sale, especially if they're under 3 million of EBITDA, 75% of them will have unsuccessful sales and never sell. Okay. So, and if you think about that, I spent 15 or 20 years or 25 years building a business, and now suddenly it's time for me to sell and they don't. And then once I go through a process and it fails, I'm stuck in it could be I have a term sheet, but it didn't close. Well, when that happens, you got to wait 2 or 3 years before you go back to market again, because people look at it as, I remember that there must be something wrong with that business. So you just need time, and therefore you're going to have to then bet that you can show continued strong growth in your business, healthy margin, client diversification, everything else. So it's really challenging. So knowing that, and we have AI that's changing everything, and there's a lot of fear, and therefore there's a lot of sellers out there, is how can I help the entrepreneur who spent their life building $1 million, them and their partner built $1 million profitable agency, and they're doing 4 million top line, they're doing $1 million profit, just an example. But anyone who's under $2 million, just do the math. If I'm going to do best case scenario, someone pays you 5 times the amount of your enterprise value for your business. Okay. You did $2 million of revenue, of EBITDA profit. Someone's going to pay you $10 million. It doesn't mean you're getting paid $2 million. It means you probably get, most situations, a best case is 50% of cash, and you're taking a little bit of risk on the other 50%. Okay, now you take off taxes, capital gain taxes in your state where it has an extra 10% capital gain tax. You could be looking at 35 or up to 40% off of that. So what's your actual take home? And you've been used to making a nice profit, nice income every year. Now suddenly is for 5 years, you're going to get that, or you're the equivalent of that, and then it's gone.
Oh.
And if you don't get your earnout, it's 2 or 3 years of that, and then it's gone. Well, what does that mean is you're off, and you're based on that amount of money after taxes. It means you're starting a new business or getting a job. So I'm going to say is I feel horrible for people, sellers in that situation. That is if they have a successful exit. So how can we change that? How can they actually double or triple their enterprise value? So my next platform I'm doing is I'm creating, a group of companies with a great theme on top, where I'm going to put together like-minded entrepreneurs who are looking to sell their business, exit within 2 to 3 years, going to merge the businesses together, help them remove the discount factors, things that people won't like about it, build a sales engine, AI integration in the back end, and then basically after 2 years of them operating together, go and start a sale process. So within 36 months they sell. But because they originally, let's say if they had $1.5 million of EBITDA, they're trading at 4.5x, because now suddenly this group has a $10 million of EBITDA or profit. Now they're trading at 8 to 12x again.
Yep.
So they're able to double or triple the amount of value they get for their business. And I get a percent of the increased value. They get most of it. I get a piece of it, but what they built to date, they own. So that is the platform. And my goal is to be over time, build a platform so that we're creating these generational wealth opportunities for 80 to 100 entrepreneurs a year.
That's beautiful, man.
So that's where I'm changing. I want to change the dynamics and having a lot more people with a lot more exits. I can't impact everyone, but if I can build a successful model, then other people will compliment me by copying my model.
Yeah.
Fine, because therefore I can only impact 50 to 100 entrepreneurs a year. If other people can do what I'm doing, and then it's basically a ripple effect, that's great. Because if you look at the number of entrepreneurs that are going to be retiring every year or selling out or wanting to change their business, the numbers are drastically going, and we'll have millions of businesses that will just close down every year because there's no buyer. Yeah. This gives an exit path.
The cool thing is you speak with individuals who have these dreams, and you speak with people who make their dreams their reality or work their butts off so that it happens. And I know that's something that's going to happen with. One question that I've got for you, Tom, is you've got such a beautiful team around you. You literally have a rocket engineer as somebody who's like your right-hand woman, right? How are you able to do that? How are you able to get these people around you and believe in the dream that you've got?
There's a certain thing now, again, I've had maybe over time, 7,000, 8,000 people that have worked for me over the years in my various businesses.
Yeah.
And so I have high expectations for people. I want people who are all heart, all in. It doesn't mean they're working 90 hours a week because I don't want them. I want people to have a balanced life. Yeah. But I want people that have a firm commitment, and I have a firm commitment for them. And first of all, as a leader, cast a big vision and be committed to it and be passionate. Be consistent. Integrity is really important for your team, that they see you operate with integrity. And basically, again, it's not what I recommend to other people, but there's very few people who work for me that can outwork me. And because I'm so passionate and committed in what we're growing and the impact we can have with, even when I own my beauty brands, it's the same thing. It is, let's look at all the people we serve. How can we serve them better? And let's keep on doing better. But people love it when you keep on raising the bar. And I like to set high expectations for what we can do as a team. And basically the other thing that I do, Nic, is high expectation, low pressure. High expectations, low pressure. In certain organization is you have high expectation and high pressure.
Yeah.
You're not hitting it. You got to hit the goals, and every day you're being ridden. You're being rode. Now their view is they're making you into a better leader. But to me is, I personally cannot work in an environment where I'm under high expectation, high pressure. Okay.
Yeah.
Certain people, Amazon is high expectation, high pressure, and they deliver outside results, but not everyone can survive in an environment like that. But ultimately, I hire deliberately, slowly, but I also I also fire relatively quick because, either very quickly whether someone is great or they're not. And if they're not at that really A player level in their heart and mind and their follow through, then there are millions of places for them to work in the world, and I'm going to release them to find the right home for themselves. It's just not going to be with me. I thrive out of people when I can give them directions without micromanaging them, and they exceed the expectation in delightful ways. And then the more they can do, and the more we can raise them up, and then put people underneath them that can do the next level and keep on looking for amazing leaders in an organization, the better. I also view, Nic, is that I would love that people would stay for me forever. But the reality is people come into my environment and end up working for me, one of my organizations for, it could be 1 year, it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years, but inevitably people will move on. We as leaders have a responsibility to teach our people so that they're great. If they want to have the entrepreneur bug, then let's teach them how to be an entrepreneur. If they want to work at a different level, large organization, if they have a dream, then let's go help develop and nurture them. And they're not going to be ours forever. And so we have responsibility, and the better you treat people, the longer they're going to stay. But I never, if someone actually finds a great opportunity and moves on, then that's great for them.
That's
so I guess it's just that too. So
you know what, the caliber of people that you've got around you is beautiful, right? I think it's so cool to see. Val, she's an absolute workhorse and is so nice to speak with as well. And you can tell that.
Oh, by the way, when it comes to Valerie, let me just say one thing about Valerie. Okay. I got very fortunate. Here you have this, person was on full scholarship for a bachelor master's at UT in aerospace engineering, worked for NASA, training cosmonauts and astronauts on safety systems on the International Space Station. It happened because of life and COVID that she had been several years away from NASA. She was looking for the right opportunity. It happened that we put a crazy enough ad out on, basically, I think it was Indeed, that she actually replied to it, and suddenly I have this superstar that is all commitment, and Valerie is, she builds drag racing cars from scratch. She races them. Again, and she has the kindest heart, and she is so focused and smart. So for me, I'm very, very lucky. And I hope that she'll be with me for many, many years. But the reality is she has the entrepreneur bug. So if I can support her in that dream, then that's beautiful. But we get lucky. We have to find these gems, and then we have to give them the freedom and understand is just because they come into your organization at one door, our goal is to keep on setting higher expectation, watching them rise, understanding we have the responsibility to train and develop them and give them opportunities, and then watch them grow. That's and Valerie's just a great example of this.
Very, very true. And you are 100% correct, right? And some of the times people will leave and then they'll come back with even more learnings from where they've gone. So I appreciate it. Tom, is there anything, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way of communicating?
Okay, I'm going to make it very easy. You can go to Tom Shipley on LinkedIn. You'll find me there. You'll find me on Facebook. You'll find me on Instagram. And I put out a decent amount of content that I try to share there. My email is tom@tshipley.com. And if you want to join us for DealCon's CEO M&A Summit and be around the room that I spent 6 months curating the 110 incredible entrepreneurs, go to dealconlive.com and check it out. And again, if it's not for this event that's coming up this Monday through Wednesday in Austin, then join us for our next event, which will be February 9th through 11th. Mark your calendars. And there's very few people, I haven't met anyone who hasn't said the event was transformational for them. So I hope that they'll join us.
Thank you so much, Tom. And I appreciate everything that you've had to say. And thank you so much for being a guest here at Behind the Boost. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nick.